started with The Devil Wears Prada 2, and now we're wrapping it up with Anne Hathaway becoming a Disney legend.
A million girls would kill for this job.
Heard that.
The Odyssey taking us somewhere movies have never gone before, and records broken.
And I just remember thinking, this is just so epic.
And Spider-Man breaking records, swinging into a brand new day.
Sorry about that.
Plus, we're going inside once again, the back rooms.
It's beautiful. Am I right?
And the horror phenomenon obsession.
So she's just stuck like this forever?
Oh yeah, I mean, as long as you live.
To infinity and beyond. And back again, and more records broken with Toy Story 5.
It's good to see them fighting again. It sure is.
The movies, the stars, the moments that owned our summer. You got your kicks in movie theaters in 26. It's our end of summer roundup, starting right now on Take a Look.
Look, indeed, you did it, summer of 26. I promised I wasn't gonna cry, but you did it. You single-handedly saved the movie-going experience for all of us. Look, I'm a little bit selfish because for me, it's pretty much just that movie theater popcorn. Even if you buy it in the supermarket, it never tastes like movie theater popcorn. The only place you're gonna get that is in a movie theater, and you did it. Now, as the summer winds down, it's kind of like digesting it after a picnic, looking at the scraps that you just picked at and said, man, that was good. And my people that I picnic with at the movies, these two. It is Natalie Franklin.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Kelly Savannah Deaton.
Hi.
All right, so we'll start with you. What's your favorite movie this summer?
It is Toy Story. I want to say pause. I've been to movies with you. You are a big popcorn person.
Huge popcorn person.
It's
I
insane.
could put the movie theaters out of business with all you can eat.
Yeah, but Toy Story 4 was my favorite.
Yeah, and
I have to say Obsession, naturally.
Of course.
awesome. You know, it would have been a much better segue if you would have gone with what you told me
The
just minutes
Odyssey.
ago. No,
The
just
Odyssey.
minutes ago I said, what's your favorite? And you said Devil Wears Prada.
Well, you seemed
too.
disappointed in me, so I was like, oh, God, I've
okay.
got to get more sophisticated.
All right,
Toy
well,
Story 4.
And Devil Wears Prada 2.
Yeah.
Since this is an as live show, let's just get right into it. It's Devil Wears Prada 2. Yeah, this was the Causeway Classic, getting us over the spring, right into the summer. And
fun.
my gosh, did it deliver? People thought, did this movie have it in it? Did we need a Devil Wears Prada 2?
Yes.
I think we did.
I think we did. And speaking of popcorn, they had some great, that popcorn purse they gave out at the theater.
I know. They were
Loved
killing it this year with all the movies in the popcorn buckets.
Yes.
Absolutely. And since we're leading with Devil Wears Prada 2, we might as well say this entire next segment is going to be a love letter to Anne Hathaway, because this movie would not have been the movie it is without her.
Absolutely.
And just, you know, off the fumes of D23, the big Disney convention where she was awarded a Disney Legend trophy.
As she should have that trophy. And you have Meryl Streep, you have the fashion, you have Emily Blunt. I mean, can't get better than that.
I just looking at, you know, when they did the tribute where they put everything that she's done up on that screen, I kept shouting, Ella Enchanted! And someone elbowed me and said, that's not a Disney film.
Oh.
But you know, technically it is a Miramax film, which was owned by Disney at the time.
Oh, okay. So, same.
It all wraps around. It's fine.
All right, so moving on, she goes on to The Odyssey and crushes it. The Odyssey is the biggest grossing Christopher Nolan film of all time. And although she's not the biggest thing about that movie, she is pivotal in it, and her scenes are very Anne Hathaway-y in that I cried when she cried.
She had a big summer. I mean, we'll talk about Tom Holland later, but like her, him, they had big summers.
Huge. They are the summer.
They were the summer.
Were the summer.
I ask you, do you think anybody else could have played that role in The Odyssey? Do you think
Penelope
yeah.
Anne Hathaway? I don't think so. I think the casting was right on the head because she has that demure and just very quiet grace but strength that's required in this movie, in this role. So I think she nailed it.
Yeah, I got a chance to sit down with her and Tom Holland, who we'll talk about more next block. Take a look.
This might be one of the most emotionally superb movies I've ever seen. But
Really?
every ounce of this movie, every frame, every nuance of this movie is probably the best cinematic offering there's ever been.
Love that.
Dude,
Keep going,
it's
Mark.
the beginning of the day.
I
We're
know,
just gonna.
let's go.
Wow, thank you.
But you have to know, with all the components going into it, it's going to be this. So when you arrived that first day on set, what was the one thing, the one moment you thought, this is it? This is why this is great?
For me, it was... Sorry, go ahead.
No.
Ladies first.
Well, my first scene was with Tom, and it involved a camera on a helicopter.
Yeah.
And it was just a dialogue scene.
Yeah. And we were lip reading because it was so loud.
It was so loud, and I just remember, and we were in an ancient castle that was real, that looked out over this beautiful sea, in an area of the world that I'd never been in, and I just remember thinking, this is just so epic. But you still have to, but just still like the 1, 2, 3's ABCs, fundamentals of filmmaking are so important. So you have to remember that, you know, with someone like Chris, as grand as it is up there, he really just, he so relies on technique. You really need to stay present. And so you want to be in it, but not get carried away by all of it, you know?
There you go. One of the biggest stars talking about one of the biggest formats, IMAX movie format. What I love about this, her son in the movie Odyssey, sitting next to her, and Tom Holland, is competing against Tom Holland for IMAX real estate. Did you know a lot of screens that would have had Spider-Man Brand New Day playing in IMAX format couldn't because the Odyssey was held over.
What
Those
nice
are
to be your
champagne
own
problems.
competition, your own competition, right?
Exactly. That's what we call champagne problems, Mark.
All right, for those who haven't seen the Odyssey, see it because
IMAX. I said this last time. Just like you're noting, if you see it in IMAX, it's such an experience.
and then if you can't because it's about to be yanked from those screens, should you see it at home?
You should just see it in general because the cinematography, the insane cast, massive action. I mean, it was everything I hoped it would be and more.
Absolutely. You know what else you're not going to get to see in IMAX? Spider-Man, Brand New Day. So now you can see it at home. Coming up in a moment, we'll revisit why this movie is great, no matter what format you see it on.
Yes.
Tom Holland next. Welcome back. Thanks for hanging out with us for this very special Take a Look. I don't know how special it is, but it's kind of that moment. It's kind of the moment where it's melancholy because summer is pretty much over, but not quite.
I'm holding on for dear life.
I know, by our fingernails.
There are going to be some other movies that scrape by towards the end of summer that we'll talk about. But for now, let's look back at what made summer so great. If you missed Spider-Man, Brand New Day, you need to see it on the biggest screen possible, IMAX. If you didn't, yeah, it's too late. But see it when all the more reason you should spend the extra $100 to get the 100-inch screen at Walmart.
There you go.
Now, in the meantime, I had a lifetime of talking to every Spider-Man about these, including Tom, about the suit and about how he takes care of business. Take a look.
You know, I want to ask you a question, and it might lean towards being personal, but I've asked this of every Spider-Man so far. When you're in the most complex version of the spider suit, and suddenly nature calls, what do?
You just gotta hold it, man. You gotta hold it. Those suits cost hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So
Peeing
on it is not an option. It's funny, on the first film,
I thought about that often. I was like, what if he has to?
if you like really need, you have to pre-plan. If you
Right.
every sip of water, you're like, that's an extra 5 minutes I'm gonna need. If you that would be
Like,
also
that
really bad
sucks.
for my
'Cause that
poor
you can't-
costumer because
that you
I'm not gonna
can't-
clean it.
You can't.
I know.
Can't see that one coming.
Is that what she said?
Don't repeat what he said, but
What did
I think
they
because of
say?
the English accent for the first time, I've heard that interview sound 100 times. I just heard him say what you just heard him say.
Yeah, I've never heard that either. That's interesting.
You know
Fascinating.
What's cute about that, if you think about the historical background of that sound, I got that in London while technically the two of them were falling in love. And how lovely is it that he was comfortable talking about bodily functions in front of his soon-to-be wife?
Must have been real serious.
Yeah, that's romance right there, people, right?
That is romance. You know, we have had a habit of catching him to talk about specifically that. I don't know why I'm so bodily function curious, but it came up again for Brand New Day.
Jeez.
Look.
When we decided that we were going to make Spider-Man Brand New Day, we said, what if we made a suit that was an homage to Tobey's and Andrew's designs? Because now my Peter Parker had met those guys. So we kind of created a spider child of all three costumes. Everything had to fit into the world of Peter Parker, and we went back to that dumpster diver kid who's retrofitting old tech.
So a result of that is this suit that I think is beautiful in its simplicity. The suit does have a bit of a tactile feel to it. We are embracing the folds, the wrinkles. When it moves, it's actually material. And you can see the human beneath the material.
It gave a real purpose to why the suit looks the way it does.
Okay, I guess that was a classier, more intelligent discussion about the suit.
Good job.
Yeah.
But I think the subtext of that is that the suit probably has some kind of flap that allows him to take care of business when that has to happen.
And we're back.
And he made to go on to that. He made sure that this suit fit him better, this movie. And this was the first movie that he was involved in the writer's room as well. So he really listened to the fans and put all his knowledge and everything he'd want to see as a fan, and that shows. That's why I think this is the best Tom Holland we've seen.
Wow, you know a lot about Tom Holland Spider-Man. Is he your favorite Spider-Man?
I'd have to say yes. Because
Natalie?
he's really in it to win it. No?
I like Toby.
Oh, Toby's
I'm
the
like
OG.
Toby.
Thank you, segue helper. I've been talking all the Spider-Man. Way back in the day, I think from 2001 to 2005, anytime I sat down with Tobey Maguire, I said, so how are you taking care of business now? Take a look.
Mark.
I'm practiced at being sewed into, being stitched into the Spider-Man suit.
I don't know what your habits are like, but if I go on, I never need to use the restroom until we get in the car and on the freeway on the road trip.
Yeah.
Does this go on with you in the suit?
You know, it's tough because here's the thing. You get in the Spider-Man suit, you got to do action, so you should be well hydrated because you're going to be sweating and, doing a lot of action stuff and moving around.
Sure.
So you need to be well hydrated. Well, if you're well hydrated, you're probably going to have to use the bathroom at some point. So it's a complicated thing.
There you go. It is a complicated thing. Yes, you in the front row?
Hard-hitting journalistic question.
Sure.
Do you have a problem with digestive issues, or what's happening? Why do you keep... I'm sensing a pattern. Why do you keep bringing this up?
No, because every single Spider-Man talks about how they have to be sewn into the costume, and the first thing I think of is, yeah, that's cool until... And like I told Toby, you don't know you need to go until you hit that road trip, and there's nowhere, nothing.
That's true. Yep.
So there you go. All right. Hey, you want to see my interview with Andrew Garfield about the same topic?
Yes.
Oh, there's no time. We got to move on.
Shucks.
Hey, one of the creepiest parts about the movie Obsession, which we're going to be talking about next, also has to do with taking care of business.
My goodness.
Bathroom scenes. Backrooms has nothing about that. But next, we will be talking about the horror movies that own summer of 2026. We'll be right back. Take a look. It is our summer 2026 special. Right now, we're talking about the summer movies that were scary, that saved the day. Which is why I keep running around because I think there are ghosts in the studio. How about you?
That's why. Okay, I can see that.
All right.
Yeah, there's ghosts. You're a ghost.
You know who is crushing it? Gen Z. Gen Z, you into movies like never before.
You are.
And want to know why?
The directors are
Yes,
Gen Z.
Gen Z want to see movies created by Gen Z. And so let's talk about Backrooms. Started out as a TikTok amazing series. Also creepy, also scary, and translated well into this long feature format. What you think?
This entire film was made by someone from the ages, he was 19 and now he's 21. So it was 20 when it came out. Big studios can't even compete with that. It's insane.
And I'm guessing, if you can make a little 6-inch thing vertically shot, scare you, pop out on your phone, certainly you're going to be able to do that to people sitting in a dark theater, right?
Right. Me and Mariah Carey's worst nightmare, be trapped in a room with just fluorescent lighting.
That tracks. I'd be devastated too.
Good pull. All right, similarly, Obsession. Now, between the two, Obsession is my vote. I love this movie more than a horror movie, any horror movie this decade.
No. She's so good. And they're talking about giving Indy Navarrete an Oscar run, perhaps. So that will be interesting to watch. I don't know if she'll get there, but she should. She was a whole host of emotions and crazy in this, and it was amazing.
I would not be shocked. We went behind the scenes to talk about the directing style and what made this thing click. Take a look.
Curry encouraged us to play. And I think that was really important because we discovered some really amazing things that way.
He has a very strong vision. At the same time, which is fun about Curry, because we come from comedy, there's a lot of improv. So we got to add a lot to his vision that I don't think he expected as well, which is fun for an actor.
Everyone knows what the goal is, but also as actors, he gives us room first to do our interpretation. He's really supportive of the play.
Curry brings this really fresh, infectious energy to the set, kind of like shooting a movie in the backyard with your friends, except with very clear vision and a bigger budget.
We only had 20 days to shoot this movie, and so it was chaos. Everyone was really playful, but it was long days.
My biggest challenge on the shoot was preserving my intensity. There's a lot of really intense scenes. We would shoot all night, and I really wanted to just give it 110% every time, but I learned pretty quickly that I had to save some for later. Curry is such a visual director. He's editing the movie in his head while we're shooting, so I only really have to go all out for half the scene.
I didn't want there to be any guessing on the day. I had started to storyboard. I knew exactly what I wanted for most of the movie. Even when I was writing, I saw the shots in my head. But then when I met my DP Taylor, he had this process that he was doing on some of his films where he would scan areas with his phone with the LiDAR scanner and 3D scan it, and then we put it in Unreal Engine, and then you have these puppets, and you can actually storyboard the movie in the video game. Using that process, we went scene by scene and we storyboarded the entire movie. And what's funny is we didn't just storyboard, I would actually edit. So I'd be like, then we're gonna cut to this, then we're gonna cut back to this. With that little cartoon, you almost kind of had the movie all laid out.
I love this. Cinematically, if you look back at the history of cinema, cinema took a big dump in the 1970s, and then these crazy kid filmmakers came along, Spielberg, Coppola, and saved the day. I feel like we're going through that again.
Those nobodies, those no names, their careers never amounted to anything.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Big budgets are great, but nice to get back and, you know, kind of
I'm saying.
makeshift.
And as much as Gen Z saved the box office, the movie theater going experience, I do think this movie is going to translate it at home. It might even be creepier at home by yourself.
With your significant other. Just don't make that wish, people.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone you just met. Watch it.
Yeah, watch it with them.
All right, trust me, you will be affected forever. In fact, you're going to need a palate cleansing after you see Obsession. Might I suggest Toy Story 5?
Oh, that's such a cute palate cleanser.
This one's for the millennials.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Coming up next, I'll sit down with the OGs, Tom Hanks and Tim Allen, to talk about Buzz and Woody, and then some. Next. Hey, welcome back. If you're watching, take a look. You got a friend in me. And these two as well. It's Natalie Franklin. It's Kelly Savannah Deaton. Hey, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Where do we find you on socials?
Kelly Savannah Deaton.
And
at Natalie the Hero on all socials.
And while you're paying attention, it's at TV Marcus Allen. All right, moving right along. Where would we be without Toy Story 5? Yet again, a huge success. It is one of the highest grossing of the film's franchise. I love this movie so much. I'll be honest with you. Every time they roll out another one, I think, don't tank the franchise. But it was really good.
Yeah, and I thought Toy Story 4. I can't believe we're on 5 already. I lost count, much like you did. But yeah, I love Toy Story. I can't help it. It's a great franchise.
The nostalgia, the iconic characters. This one has more girl power than ever before. They focus on Jessie, which I think is long overdue, and it just has that Pixar magic that we're used to.
We started out the segment talking about, Disney legends. Anne Hathaway just got brought into the club. Buzz and Woody would be nothing without Tom and Tim, and I talked to them about it. Look. I've been talking to both of you about this since deep into last century. There are few things as important to me as this moment right now.
Back in the 1900s,
Wow,
we ran back in the 1900s. Here we are. Look, take away the 5. It's just one long story. It could be maybe 3 weeks have passed between the end of the last one and the beginning.
Yeah, you don't know how long that was.
Then the first
we look at it as one story.
So
Tom
it's
came
all
up
just
with
one long
the
story.
Toy Story.
True, and time moves different for different animal species. I'm sure time moves a little bit differently for toys. Yeah. For the two of you, is there any one thing you don't think you've figured out about your character yet? You've lived in these longer than most live-action characters you've ever played.
It's funny that you say that because of all the buzzes in this. It's got me thinking. Just last night, because we've done a show when Barbie was there. They went to a toy store and there was a whole bunch of me on the wall.
Yeah, I remember.
And the one that's silver, there's a different version of me. Where are all those?
Sure.
Yeah.
Who's the Bonnie and Andy where those toys get? Do they wake up? Is it just this group that wakes up? I start asking these sci-fi questions that are unanswerable.
Well, it's a game changer once they all start communicating in real time together.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, there's only one Woody, man. You got to come to the source for that wisdom.
Sure.
And there's no update. He's got the same sayings on his string that he had from the get. There's a snake in my boots. It's same exact thing.
Yeah.
And the conflict between that originally the two of you had to learn how to get along, and so now digital and analog, toys versus
tablets.
You know, it's interesting. The guys, the crack team has never come at us with something that we didn't think that Woody or Buzz would do. They have never said, "We need you to do this." They've never like sprained the credibility of
Sure.
the arc of our character, and that's a testament to the Pixar folks.
Thank you for the joy you've brought so many generations.
Oh, you're welcome.
Toy
Thanks.
Story 6, all right.
Yeah, let's see, man. Talk to somebody out in the
We're
hallway.
right here in
All right.
Pixar.
We're at the right place.
Yeah, just go knock on doors and say, "Hey, you know what I'd like to see? Toy Story 6."
Yeah, exactly. To the Pixar folks, we salute you. Another huge hit. Congratulations on all you gave us for summer of 26, but all the cash that you're loading up by the
I
window.
know. I don't think they're hurt in any way, shape, or form with that.
I was this old when I heard this about Woody.
Yes.
Woody, if I buy a toy, is voiced by who?
Tom Hanks's brother.
No way.
Yeah.
So there is another Woody.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a true story.
Yeah.
His brother used to be a waiter a block away from where we are on the air right now.
Okay.
And used to wait him. That is crazy.
Yeah.
All circles back.
You know so much. This is why I keep you two as my friends.
Aw.
Why do you keep me as a friend?
Oh.
Come on! Don't end the show like that. Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you're watching the Inherent broadcast, thank you so much. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, that's okay as long as you like and subscribe.
All the things.
And to the people serving us right now,
Yes, thank
ships at sea, especially, and all over the world. Thanks for watching on AFN. We really salute you and we applaud you. All right, I guess that's it for now. We'll see you next time. Go see a movie.
Oh, you always buy the popcorn.
Finally.
At the movie.
While credits are rolling.
That's why we're friends with you. You share the popcorn. You buy us